You ever get woken up in the dead of night by a phone call that's so wild, so absolutely unhinged, that for a second you think you might still be dreaming? Yeah, that happened to me. I was dead asleep on my couch TV, casting that soft blue glow over the living room when my cell phone started blaring at 2:39 in the morning. Unknown caller. I should have let it ring, but you know how it is, curiosity. Or maybe just plain stupidity. Anyway, I answer. Next thing I hear is this woman's voice, shrill as a smoke alarm, screaming, "What are you doing in that house? You're being evicted right now. Pack up and wait on the curb." I'm thinking, is this some kind of prank? Am I on a hidden camera show? But no, she keeps going, "I'm Loretta, president of the Oakwood Bluffs Homeowners Association. And you don't belong there." Now, I'd never even met this Loretta. I bought my house 3 weeks ago, dropped more money than I care to admit, filed all my paperwork with the HOA the very next day. My deed was sitting 10 feet away in a safe I could barely afford. Still, I'm polite. "Ma'am, I own this house. Is there some paperwork missing?" She comes back. "You signed no occupancy approval. Your presence is unauthorized. Vacate immediately or face consequences." Click. Hangs up. I'm sitting there staring at my phone, wondering if I've wandered into a parallel universe. Before I can process it, rings again, same number. This time she's yelling about the board voting to rescind my occupancy. "Police will escort you out if you don't leave." That's when I snapped out of it. I told her, "Calm as you please. You want police? I'll call them myself." Hung up, called the non-emergency line for the county sheriff, told them my HOA president was harassing and threatening to evict me in the middle of the night. 15 minutes later, Deputy Harrison's at my door. We walk the perimeter, nothing's out of place. "An HOA can't evict you at 3 a.m., he says. "If they want you out, they can file a civil complaint during business hours." He leaves me his card, tells me to call if she contacts me again. Sleep. Forget it. My heart's pounding. I make coffee, pull up the HOA bylaws. Nowhere does it say they can throw me out, especially not in the middle of the night. Sun's barely up when my doorbell rings. And who's there? Loretta herself. Hair shellacked into submission, flanked by 2 board members, one clutching a clipboard like a shield, the other wringing his hands with a stack of neon orange violation notices. Loretta's perfume hits before her words do. "You failed to comply with verbal notice. Here are your written citations." She slams a manila envelope into my chest. I tell them, "Step off my property." My phone's recording in my pocket. Loretta looks at my welcome mat like it's covered in poison. "We discovered irregularities in your closing documents. You're a trespasser. I ask for proof. We'll reveal evidence at the hearing tonight." I swear I'd landed in some HOA version of Game of Thrones secret trials, midnight phone calls, the whole 9 yards. I say I'll need proper notice and documentation. "You're all trespassing." Clipboard guy tugs Loretta's sleeve and they back off, slapping a neon orange notice on my mailbox before marching away. By noon, I'm on the phone with my attorney, Teresa Goodwin. She laughs so hard she snorts. "They can't evict you in the dead of night. That's harassment. Save everything." While we're talking, here comes my neighbor Kip, a big guy with a mug that says, "World's okayest coach." He's heard the commotion. "Did Loretta finally catch another squatter?" I tell him I'm the owner. "She told the neighborhood you forged your title." "Perfect." "Rumors are flying." I explain, show him my deed, he shrugs. "Loretta's been on a mission since the last guy moved out. If you need anything, holler." And just like that, neutrality comes with a side of gossip. That night I head to the HOA clubhouse for the emergency hearing. 5 board members behind a folding table camcorder pointed at a single chair, my seat. Loretta starts grilling me about the previous owner's unpaid dues, claims my purchase is invalid. Teresa on speaker jumps in. "That's not how liens work." The treasurer suddenly finds her pen real interesting. "Regardless, the board voted. You must vacate in 48 hours. I decline. Loretta threatens to disable amenities, revoke parking, maybe cut off my utilities. That's illegal, I remind her, sliding over the civil code. They sputter. I leave with no resolution but a phone full of evidence. Next morning, Kip's SUV is blocking my driveway, a tow truck idling behind him, Loretta overseeing like a villain from a bad soap opera. I tell Kip to move his truck. He claims my driveway's common area. I point to the survey stakes, call Deputy Harrison. He arrives before my bumper gets yanked. Loretta waves a handwritten note. Harrison just laughs, tells the tow truck to leave or get cited. Loretta storms off. By week's end, rumors of missing HOA funds start to surface, landscapers' unpaid cameras offline. Teresa and I suspect Loretta's covering up embezzlement with bluster, hoping new owners like me won't fight back. So step 1, I request the HOA's financials by law. They've got 10 days. Step 2, I prep for a restraining order if the 2:39 a.m. calls continue. Step 3, I quietly recruit neighbors sick of Loretta's reign. That weekend, I hand-deliver my financial request. Faces twist like they sucked lemons. Meanwhile, I install extra ring cameras and a stadium-worthy floodlight. Kip suddenly finds the sidewalk less interesting. Still, Loretta isn't done. Monday night, I catch clipboard guy rifling through my recycling. Floodlight flips on, he bolts. I send the footage to Teresa. She whips up a cease and desist served by a courier wearing a shirt that says Legal Eagle Express. Neighbors love the show. Neighbors love. Day 10, no financial documents. So Teresa files in small claims, court $500 a day, penalty for every day they stall. She attaches my video, the deputies report. Kip swings by with a homemade apple pie, apologizes for getting dragged in. Loretta promised reduced dues to anyone who helped enforce compliance. But now my wife's furious. I get it. He offers to back the recall if it comes to a vote. Allies popping up everywhere. Loretta tries one last move, shuts off my water slaps, a hot pink utility freeze tag on my faucet. I call the county water district inspector, shows up, takes one look and says it's tampering, a felony. I press charges. That night, police interview Loretta. She insists the HOA owns my pipes. The deputy laughs when he calls me later. By now, whispers about missing funds have turned into roars. Miss Dahlia, a retired accountant, volunteers to audit the books if we get them. Emergency neighborhood meeting, 70 people show up, from stroller pushers to retired Marines. I lay out the reports, the videos, the water tampering. We draft a petition call for a special election. Needed 20% signatures, got 35% in one night. Loretta strikes back with glossy flyers calling me a trespasser, even photoshops a foreclosure sign onto my lawn. Problem is, my lawn looks fine and everyone's already seen the deputy at her door. Backfire of the year. Day 20 court hearing. Loretta sweeps in wearing a red power suit and a lawyer who looks like he wants to be anywhere else. Judge orders them to turn over the records in 72 hours, plus $10,000 in penalties. The neighbors are all quietly fist-pumping. Deadline day, a courier hauls 3 dusty boxes onto my porch full of creative accounting. Miss Dahlia and Kip crack them open. Playground mulch invoices for $10,000 when the playground is nothing but gravel. Security payments to a defunct company at a storage locker address. Consulting fees to L. Marquette, Loretta's maiden name, over $40,000 in 18 months. By sundown, we count $186,000 missing from the reserve fund. Teresa tells us to hire a forensic CPA. Turns out HOA rules allow any member to request an external audit. We all chip in for a retainer. Neighbors open their wallets. Suddenly, Loretta's feeling the heat. Next morning, a city inspector shows up. Someone reported I'd knocked down a load-bearing wall. She finds nothing. Second bogus call this month, she mutters. Our recall petition rockets past 60%. We booked the high school auditorium, biggest space in town. A day before the vote, my mailbox gets busted. Inside, an unsigned threat. I install a sturdier lockbox file, another police report. That night, Kip's son, Bryce, brings over drone footage, shows Loretta and clipboard guy dumping trash bags into a dumpster after midnight. Dahlia Teresa, the forensic CPA, and I don gloves and sift through the bags. Jackpot shredded ledgers, burned checkbooks, a busted USB drive. We piece together checks written to cash, all endorsed by Loretta. Election night is electric. Residents pack the gym. Loretta, in her matching navy blazer, tries to dismiss the recall on a technicality. Teresa's ready, cites the bylaws, and we move to a vote. The final count, 134 to 19. Loretta and her board are done. Vega, the CPA, serves her a written demand for laptops, hard drives, and bank keys. She resists. Deputy steps in. She coughs them up while muttering about conspiracies. But then my house gets broken into. Someone tried to jimmy the lock. All that's missing is the original neon orange violation notice and the thumb drive of receipts, but I'd already backed up everything to the cloud. Deputies dust for prints. Next day, interim chair Marisol calls Loretta, refuses to turn over the main HOA laptop, claiming it has personal recipes. Marisol gets a court order. Deputy retrieves it. Screens open to a spreadsheet titled Budget Projection 2025 minimized behind a cruise website. Karma nibbles. Loretta slams a cupboard and jams her own fingers. The forensic CPA finds tens of thousands funneled to prepaid debit cards, phantom landscaping bills, to an LLC run by Loretta's nephew, even HOA funds used for a down payment on Loretta's new electric SUV, the one she bragged about at meetings. The committee shares the findings in the park. Loretta vanishes. The crowd votes to file suit and call the DA. Clipboard guy Trevor Flips testifies. Loretta ordered the water valve tampering. Loretta, now desperate, files a restraining order against the interim board judge, throws it out in 8 seconds. Criminal charges stack up: embezzlement, vandalism, impersonating a public official, burglary, assault. Loretta gets booked posts. Bail mugshot hits the news. She tries to hide her face with an HOA letterhead folder. Meanwhile, the community gets to work. Playground gets new mulch. Dog park finally opens. HOA dues drop 10% because the fraud is gone. Kip and I end up actual friends movie nights at the dog park. Dahlia wins, treasurer. Bryce's drone footage opens every meeting. Trial comes. I testify. Trevor's testimony blows the doors off Loretta. Rehearsed intimidation scripts in her mirror threatened him over a basketball hoop. Vega maps the money trail, shell corporations, consulting fees, all the hits. Jury convicts Loretta on all counts. Judge revokes bail sentences, her to 3 years full restitution, banned for life from HOA boards. Loretta, in county khakis, spends mornings weeding tomatoes in the jail garden. Restitution gets paid. The new board posts every transaction online. Dues drop again. Funny thing, when the system finally works, neighbors stop being scared. They start being well neighbors. Transparency becomes the rule, not the exception. And yeah, the saga goes on. A coaster from Loretta arrives in the mail engraved, "Owning up beats, owning others." There's always another threat, another scam. But now we fight together. The timestamp of that cursed phone call finally loses its bite. You know what I mean? That's the thing about power. Bullies weaponize rules. But a community that stands up together documents everything and never gives up. That's how you turn a nightmare into a new beginning. So what would you have done if you were in my shoes? Drop a comment. Let's see where you stand on HOA power, community, and justice.